So yes, the top story, it is official. Omicron is 50%, maybe two-thirds, maybe 40% less severe, but it seriously looks as though even Neil Ferguson, the famous worst-case Ferguson, the man who modelled the most relentlessly downbeat scenarios in the history of epidemiology, who predicted 9 of the last 2 pandemics, his Imperial College model did more damage to that academy's reputation than a 300 to 15 drubbing by Loughborough on University Challenge, has finally decided to express some optimism, to share some good news. And as we have repeatedly suggested, with nothing more than good sound common sense at our backs, it seems Neil agrees with us that Omicron is significantly milder in its symptoms, its risk of hospitalisation and worse is very much reduced than any previous variant, certainly the Delta, and that might even be the very thing we needed to run the nastier versions of this virus out of town. It could save us, hovering as we are on the brink of a January lockdown and indeed a self-imposed merriness hesitancy as we go into Christmas itself. Leo, I suppose this is like what you've been saying for some time.
Yeah, Omicron is going to come along and ruin the party for all these authoritarian apparatchiks in government who want lockdown to continue forever so they can continue to cream money off the taxpayer with their dodgy contracts. Yeah. So, Omicron is basically nature's vaccination. And I'm a comedian, so you can take that and stick it in the bank.
Stick it in the I absolutely agree with you, though, and I do tend to agree. I don't have any, really dark conspiratorial theories, but I do think a lot of people seem to be rather keen that this thing lasts as long as possible. Sajila,
I don't want it to last as long as possible, but I just think it's not exactly a win. 50% milder, yes, but still possibility of hospitalisation, and we mustn't forget that, people have still died. Yeah. So it's like, I think, go forward with caution.
Are you saying Leo and I should not dance on their graves?
I don't... well, I wouldn't say literally that.
Some wine adjacent to the graveyard.
No, what I have noticed, though, in the cab up here, is that all the restaurants were empty, the bars were empty, and the cab driver himself was saying, all my work's gone. Yeah. Because people are actually sort of in a self-induced lockdown right now to protect Christmas.
I went with my mate to a lovely old pub that we go to around this time of year, in fact, quite frequently, just opposite the Court of Appeal on the Strand Fleet Street sort of intersection, nice old the sort of place Rumpole of the Bailey would go after a hard day. He's a barrister, my friend. And normally it's heaving and roiling in there. You feel like you're on a ship on the high seas, at this time of year. There was about 7 of us in there. They'd had to close the kitchen and send the staff home. They couldn't justify keeping them. We couldn't have so much as a Scotch egg. And I felt that was more dismal in a way than an actual government-enforced lockdown, because they won't get any help with that, of course.
Well, I'm sort of relieved that you couldn't have a Scotch egg, because that's where the next generation of Scotchmen will hatch. It's 2 days before Christmas, so... Is it 2 days? It's 3 days before Christmas, so people don't want to suddenly catch it and take it home with them, I think. So people are going back to their families. They might have already gone back to their families. So I can understand people not coming out now. But I think in January, when the dust settles and we've got more data that's more reassuring, because the data coming out of South Africa, where this thing started, where they've got huge numbers of immunocompromised people because of HIV, the data coming out of there is hugely reassuring. They've had a huge spike in cases, but no surge in deaths.
You're saying there are people who can't get vaccinated because they have HIV, or they...
Well, just if you've got HIV, getting a virus isn't good for you because your immune system isn't working.
Are they really a significant proportion of the population?
I think... I can't remember how many, but it is.
Wow,
Yeah.
I did not know that.